I didn't think I'd end up liking this board, but here we are. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out a board that honestly flew under the radar for me, but after building it, using it, and typing on it for the last couple weeks, I kinda can't stop thinking about it. This is the Boomerang. It's a split 60XT layout built like a tank with a macro column on the left side and an O-ring mount that is similar to the G-On F1. And while it has a few quirks, it is actually one solid board. Let's start with what stood out right away, aside from the obvious split layout. This thing is heavy, like deceptively heavy for a compact board. The build weight is around 2.4 kilograms and our unit is in this really nice meteorite gray finish that reminds me of the high-end matrix coatings. It feels really premium in hand and honestly, it looks really clean on the desk. It's also well machined and the build path was relatively smooth. I actually really like how the plate self-aligns using that O-ring wrap system. It's similar to the F1 mount, but with a few tweaks that makes it easier to work with. Fun fact, this board went through 5 redesigns and over 20 prototypes before this final production version. So yeah, it shows everything fits together like it's been tested a lot. The bottom case has these cool boomerang shaped feet, which honestly I think it's kind of fun, but I wish they included extras, and same goes for the O-ring. No spares, and right now you can't buy replacements either through KBDFans, which makes me a little bit concerned about long-term support. The typing feel is firm but comfortable, especially with the aluminum plate. It's not soft or bouncy, and you're definitely getting a more direct, responsive feel, but I don't think it's harsh either. I would have loved some different O-ring hardness options just to tune that feel a little bit more. The board also supports both solder and hot swap PCBs, and it's VIA compatible through Vial, which is a nice touch. The layout support is limited, but ISO is available, so you ISO enjoyers, you're not forgotten here. Now, the standout for me is the macro column on the left. I've always wanted a 60XT layout, more keys without shoving my mouse off the desk, and this totally delivers. It's surprisingly easy to adopt if you're used to a standard layout, and the extra keys are super handy. One thing to be aware of though, the keycap compatibility. Some base kits won't cover everything on this board, especially the bottom row. Let's talk about sound. This board is resonant, but not in a bad way. It's not hollow or anything, but it honestly sounds a little bit more like a top mount than an O-ring mount, and honestly, I like that. This board also feels like it was tuned specifically for cherry switches on aluminum plate. They just sound and feel right here. You can mess with some long pole switches, but you really notice the board coming alive with your classic cherry switches. And how does it stack up to other boards? We did a quick comparison between this and our review control board, the Neo 65CU. Both are built with cherry MX blacks on aluminum plate. We use the Neo 65CU as our control board because it's a board that's quite popular and hopefully it gives a good baseline to compare with any other boards that we review. Take a listen here. Honestly, the Boomerang holds up really well. It's tighter and more compressed in sound, while the Neo 65 has that deeper, fuller resonance you expect from a gasket mount. Different vibes, but neither one sounds bad. As far as plate options go, you get to choose from aluminum, carbon fiber, and polycarbonate. On a side note, I'm not a huge fan of the red aluminum plate. It's a personal preference, but I find when the plate is not black, it tends to fight for attention, and it's another thing I need to consider when I'm pairing keycaps. I think it takes away from the main focus, which is the board itself. It's a small thing, but you can always get your own plate made, which our good friend Tom from Hike Keyboards is our go-to. And KBDFans also have the plate files available on the product page like they normally do, which is super handy, and you don't have to go digging around on some random Discord server. Now, we did try 2 different switch and plate combos just to see how the sound and feel will shift. Here's how those sounded. The PC plate build with Coco's being a long pole switch definitely brings out a lot of the board's natural resonance. If you're hearing some higher end frequency ping, I think that's from the plate vibration, not the case itself. You probably could dial that out with some extra force breaking. The Roselle version 2s on the carbon fiber, totally different sound. It's lighter and brighter, but still pretty clean. Kind of fun how much range you can get with this board depending on your configuration. So I've been using this board for the last couple weeks. Even though this board is technically a split, it's not aggressively ergonomic. Like, it's not trying to retrain your hand or force you to relearn typing. I know that might sound like a downside, but honestly, I like it. It just feels natural. The front height is low enough that you don't really need a wrist rest as well. And the angle layout gives you a subtle, comfortable bump without going full Alice. Now, I don't know how ergonomic it actually is since I'm absolutely ignorant when it comes to human biomechanics, but my wrists weren't complaining. And by the way, it uses a JST cable for the daughter board, not ribbon or EasyMate, which is such a relief. It is much easier to work with and less prone to reliability issues. So the Boomerang. It's a weird little board with a lot going for it. And I genuinely enjoyed using it more than I expected. The layout makes sense to me. The typing feel is clean and the sound is way more refined than you think for an O-ring mount. It's not perfect. I mean, it's missing spares, the limited layout support, and some picky keycap compatibility, but it nails the important stuff. With all the revisions and prototyping it has gone through, you can see the results of it in the production unit. And honestly, it's kind of nice to see a split board that doesn't scream ergonomic, but it just quietly works. So if you're chasing a 60XT layout with a strong sound profile and feel, this might be worth a look. What do you think about the Boomerang? Are you team macro column, or do you prefer that clean 60% look? Let me know down below, and if you liked the video, drop a like and maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.